So today, guys, I begin my journey. Many of you guys have been watching my channel, saw my last car update, talked about my car getting cam, talked about the AFM delete, talked about the headers, the tune, all that stuff. What I didn't necessarily talk about was the Pro Charger. Yeah, that's coming, but more details on that. But I'm doing the first step. I am going down to pay for parts and get the process rolling. So right now my car is slated to go in for the work on January 2nd. So in just 1 month, my car goes in and getting all sorts of good stuff done to it. Let's do this. So I'm going down, I'm running to the bank. I got to pick up some cash, and what I'm going to be doing is heading down to Cunningham Motorsports, or CMS, as I'm going to reference them from now on, and drop off my first deposit. Now, this deposit is to cover all the cost of parts. So basically the way that they work is once you sign up to do the work, they give you a quote, an estimate, you say yes or no, and then from there they schedule you in, and what they like to do is take an upfront deposit for the cost of all the parts, and you basically pay that. They order all the parts, and then they make sure ahead of your car's arrival date for the work that everything's there and good to go. So in this case, my first batch of work that I'm doing on the car is a cam, long tube headers, active fuel management delete, a tune, and flex fuel. So the goal, at least initially with these changes, since I'm not going to be doing an intake manifold because the stock manifold's actually fine, because I will be slapping on a P1 Pro Charger on the car and bypassing my desire for a ZL1 for the time being. So basically my goal is to make Lethal 16, which is this car. I never told you the name. It's a lame name, but whatever. Is going to be lethal against a ZL1. So the ultimate goal, 700 horsepower. Keeping her, you know, not going too crazy, but I would still say 700 horsepower is quite a bit. So, yeah. So that's the goal. Some of the other things I plan to do, putting spacers on the rear wheels, just so I can fit 315s on the back instead of my 305s. And yeah, I think that's about it for right now. So there's a lot of other mods and things coming down the pipeline that I will be doing, but at least for today, I'm headed down to put the deposit down on the parts, and then we're literally, just shy of a month away of the car going in the shop. So this is going to be a long 4-week wait, but I'm super excited. I know it's going to take some time to craft the cam that they're doing. It is a custom-made cam that Ryan at Cunningham Motorsports calibrated himself. The first one's running on their 2016 Camaro, and it sounds beastly. So I'm actually kind of hoping they have it put together today so I can hear it again, but it's not super aggressive. It's going to be a, you know, middle of the road cam in a sense. You know, it's not going to sound like those beastly Camaros from Texas, which is unfortunate. I am in California, so I have to play it safe a little bit, but in general, I think it's going to sound amazing. So yeah, so here we go, headed to the bank and then to CMS, and potentially maybe even hearing the red car. We'll see. Alrighty then, guys, cash in hand, headed over to CMS and get this payment down for parts. So there you go, paid for the parts. They are getting ordered today. The cam is specifically getting ordered today, only because that just takes a couple weeks to manufacture, get built and sent over. But yeah, new cams, new double springs, new lifters, all sorts of stuff. Because for those of you who aren't aware, when you cam your car, new valves as well, instead of the car running on the springs like this constantly, you're forcing it a lot harder, so you get better springs to be able to compensate for that movement. And yeah, just the more power, you want the valves to be able to stand up to it. So they replace all of that greatness, and then they're also deleting the active fuel management off the car. So there's parts and pieces that they have to order for that. And going to be installing a Stainless Works long tube header, so I'll have a full Stainless Works systems from the manifold back, and yeah, looking forward to it. So at this point, I am leaving the stock intake manifold on the car. We are going to go down the road of testing E85 and flex fuel. Ryan is very apprehensive about it, regardless of what other people are saying. He believes there is an operating system error where it doesn't matter how you tune it. You can tune it with the best tune ever, but the problem is the operating system is misreading at any given time what the ethanol level is. So you have E85 in the trunk, or rated 80, and then the OS will all of a sudden read it as 30, and then at next startup it reads it as 20, and then next startup it reads it as whatever, and it's just all over the place. It's not stable, and it's not something the guys at CMS or many other top professional tuners feel comfortable equipping these cars with for flex fuel. Now, if I was just going straight E85 all the time, I believe that's a different story, because then you can just tune the car for that specific gas and you're good to go. But knowing me and how I drive and go down to LA, and knowing that E85 burns at a much higher rate, there's the issue of not being able to get gas. Like, I don't know, I haven't been able to find any gas stations down here that sell E85, and even then, E85 at different gas stations is typically different, and every shipment they get will vary in the ethanol levels. So it's kind of scary to think about in making a car that is able to adapt and utilize that fuel, and then not worry about getting stranded somewhere because you can't find fuel, or your car can't run off what you're putting into it. So I'm going down that path. Hopefully I'm going to do a video specifically on it. I'm going to be digging a lot more into it, but I know there is at least 3 stations nearby in my area, and my camera keeps getting really wonky, that sell E85, and so I'm going to go down, or at least figure out what their fuel levels are at and how that all works out, and then talk with Ryan about just going pure E85. And if that doesn't work out, I can always just go back to 91 pump gas. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey. So for those of you out there who are interested in doing E85, let me know in the comments below. Is it something that you guys are waiting for more on? I haven't seen many people talking about it. I know Tim at Camaro 6 now with EFI tuning, he has a setup, he claims he has a tune, but that still doesn't get around the operating system error of it just not reading the tables right, or not reading the fuel, or the octane, not the octane level, but the ethanol levels properly at any given time. And so it's just not allowing a smooth reading of the ethanol and what it's really running. And that's the fastest way to mess up your motor. And last thing I think anybody wants to do is blow up their motor because some generic process out there or product claims that with a tune and everything it works, but in reality, if you look at how the car's reading it in the operating system itself, this has nothing to do with the tune. You cannot tune this. You would have to literally hack or potentially have an updated OS version from GM to get around this. And I know from what Ryan at Cunningham Motorsports is saying, is all the early versions of the 2016 Camaros are having this issue. He hasn't tested any of the newer ones or 2017s yet. So this car was from April. I guess it's, at least it was purchased in April. I think it was built in, why am I losing it? In February, March timeframe. So I think with that being said, it probably has the same OS as their car. Their car's from January. of 2016. So we'll see if we can get around it. No promises, but you know, E85 is definitely a big lift in horsepower, and people have it running. But in regards to doing flex fuel, where you can just put whatever gas you want in your vehicle and have it read properly, yeah, probably not a go. So we'll see. We'll find out. But I am off. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry it wasn't too informative and crazy, but got a big week this week. I'm down in LA for the next 3 days. Well, I'm not entirely sure what days that lines up from when this video is going to go live, but just got a big event for work going on. So I'll be back to my normal duties come this weekend. Got a couple videos I want to shoot. New drive with me video. Haven't done one of those in a couple weeks. And then I'm gonna be taking quite a bit of time off work coming into the holidays and then through early January. So looking forward to some time with the family and just, you know, defrag and decouple, and then potentially maybe do some cool videos around the car, do some driving. I'm hoping to get out to a track day that I can record and show you guys my terribleness driving around a racetrack. So yeah. But as always, guys, thanks for joining me in these videos. Thanks for staying up to date on my current car build, and really very much looking forward to sharing all aspects of the build as it's happening. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions or want to know more information, let me know. I'm actually going to be diving into the cam a little bit more in a separate video to let you guys know what brand I'm going with, what all the settings and ratios are on it. So looking forward to sharing some of those details with you. Obviously the cam itself is a Cunningham Motorsports exclusive tooling, so I'm going to work with Ryan to find out what data he'll let me share with you guys versus not. And yeah, so again, just looking forward to it. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the road.